Welcome to The Favorites, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. We are an Action Network podcast. I'm Brandon Kravitz, your host, back at it with the first lady of the pod, Miss Kendra Middleton, and our man who puts the prime in primer, Evan Abrams, is here to break it all down, give us some trends that we can look at with schedules released across the National Football League. I have been waiting hours and hours for smart, sensible, we'll see if we get that, an entertaining schedule release show. I tried watching the ESPN Sports Center special, guys. What a slop fest that was. Laura Rutledge, great at what she does. Every individual is good at their job, but way too many panelists, everyone talking over each other. Kyle Brandt thinks he's hilarious. Let's bring the people what they need, which is a good schedule release show. Let's also bring in our guest de jour, Gilles Gallant, Action Network analyst, the touchdown prop guru, is here with us. Gilles, Great to catch up with you. You ready to break down some schedules? We're going NFC first here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made me think of because I tried to watch some of that Sports Center ESPN version of the schedule release last night, and it just got so galaxy brain thinking of how could we reinvigorate this. I think what they need to do, the NFL, if you just take a little bit of logistics aside, what you could do is almost like a Money in the Bank, like WWE style thing, where instead, basically the last place team of each division comes out and it says, all right, well, we get to swap a home game with this team. And it's like, oh my God, they picked this team instead of that team. It would cause so much more entertainment. And I know obviously logistics aside, it would really probably ruin some of the NFL on that front. But I just was thinking to myself, man, if you could have like Washington come out, who finished last in the division, or the Giants come out and they say, all right, well, instead of switching the home games with Eagles, we're going to switch with Washington because we think we have a bigger advantage. And it's just like, whoa, they switched. Like, I just think that that's where we need to go with that schedule release going forward.
Jaden Daniels off the top rope. Evan, what did you think? How do you take in schedule release night? Is it a thing for you, or do you just kind of wait for it to drop and then do your work from there?
First of all, Jill seems like the guy. First of all, Jill, you seem like the guy who wants like the number one seed to be able to pick their opponent when the playoff starts.
Absolutely. Like I mean, in the NBA specifically, I love if that would come to fruition, but in the NFL, absolutely. But yeah, like I mean, the NFL, like I just think that with the way that they tried to amalgamate like the NFL Network and ESPN at the same time, it was just too many people stepping on each other's toes. I think they should almost treat it more like the draft, like where the last place team gets to switch a home game, like with one of the opponents within the division, and then you think that it's going to be the number one team, but they actually choose like another team. It just causes more bad blood and rivalry. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to turn this into an ESPN / NFL Network hate fest, but Kendra,
most of the games are leaked, like all the primetime games, all the international games. So there's very little surprise. Like by the time we get like 5 minutes into the broadcast,
of course, and then it becomes you have a Cowboys hat on, so it becomes like, look, this is what the Cowboys schedule looks like. Kendra, we got to get away from this. The 7 analysts on a desk. It's awful TV.
I consumed the schedule release doing red light therapy, and because I think I have a little bit of a different view of this, because of like the content creation thing, I feel like this truly, and I said this on Twitter, the NFL schedule release is my Met Gala because it combines my love of like video content online and the NFL. So I think that for me, I get my popcorn ready. I'm like ready to go in bed, showered, teeth brushed, and I'm going to sit there and consume everything for hours. I didn't wind up watching what all of the analysts had to say until the rerun started on ESPN later in the night. I legitimately did not see it until after the Anaheim Ducks game ended.
So I'm curious then, because I posed this to Evan, and I think for all of us out there, we're taking this in as football fans in different ways. For some people that are watching or listening to us, this is the first bit of content that you have consumed for the NFL schedule release. There's the social media side with each team dropping a video of their own version. There's the analyst side, and and the conglomerate of ESPN and the NFL Network. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. Kendra, you're looking at this through the team side. So are we going like division by division? Do you go in alphabetical order? How are you taking in? I tried to watch for the usually I just kind of like let it hit me throughout the course of a day, but I know that we have this show to do. So I tried to watch all 32 schedule release videos. I passed out about 16 teams in. I just don't know how you do it. So what's the strategy here for taking in all of the content?
So I'll do the teams that I care about the most first. So obviously like Jaguars, Patriots, 1 and 2. And then from there, I'll let my timeline and everyone kind of exploding give me the rest of it. I did the AFC South first, and then I had to go look at the Chargers because the Chargers are notorious and iconic for their schedule releases. And then from there, I will Google the teams in alphabetical order and go through them that way.
Well, this is an NFC episode, so and we have an AFC episode coming up as well, but give us the NFC team that crushed the social media release.
I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons and their Sports Center commercial theme. I thought that that was really cute, really funny, and I think that there are teams where you can tell where they try too hard and they overthink it. Specifically, I think the AFC simultaneously won and lost last night as far as the creative direction of a lot of their videos. But I thought the Falcons did a really good job, and I thought that the Seahawks also did a really good job. They did like a spoof on like the old perfume commercials or like cologne commercials, and I thought that it was funny. I thought that it was cute. I think on the NFC side, those are the two teams that stood out the most to me, but kind of everybody else was just meh. I'm not going to remember it because I hated it or because I love it, but on the AFC side, I have lots of comments. Lots of comments.
We had a lot of different lengths, I noticed.
Yeah.
Some of these videos, Evan, are 6 minutes long. That would be my number one rule. If I was running the show for any of these social teams, I'd go, okay, it's 2.5 minutes max. We can't keep
90 seconds.
Can't expect people to hang around for this. Are you with me on that? It's like, does there need to be a rule here?
I mean, I haven't seen a single one of these last night.
You haven't watched a single one?
My goal today, well, listen, there's an article on the site. It was a late night. There's lots of, things had to be done. But that's what today's for. I'm listening to this show and you guys to try to get some understanding of where I should start. I'm going to make it through all 32 today. It's going to be bad, but I got to do it. I got to see where people went. And it's like the most creative time of year for that team, those industries. Like, it's kind of awesome where that's progressed and where that's gotten to. So I'm all about it. I honestly want to hear Kendra, who is the worst, because I think that's kind of funnier. Like the Chiefs with the sourdough bread, like that stuff where teams just fall on their faces, I think is kind of funnier since there's so much effort put into this.
Just wait for the AFC. That's my tease for the next episode. I have so many things to say.
So I tried to do my part. I didn't want to put all of the social media review on Kendra's shoulders, even though she probably wanted that. Fair. But this is my Word document where I have notes and grades. I did not make it through all 32 teams because I got bored with this project, but I got a lot of them done. The only F that I gave to an NFC team was the Carolina Panthers. Now, I appreciate their schedule release video is only 23 seconds, so this did not take long to consume. You might want to start there, Evan, just to sort of wet your palate with a 23-second video. But it was this weird, things were blowing up in a field. I didn't understand what the theme was, and it was almost too fast. I don't want a 6-minute video, but you got to give me, you have all off season to put a schedule release video together, and you come up with 23 seconds. That's not good enough. The sad cats take the L, Kendra.
Yeah, they did like a longer version on their website that was like, I think way longer. It was like 4 minutes long, but their theme was like Bomb Squad. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. I thought it was a weird moment, weird decision, weird choice.
They're still trying to figure out being good. So I think they'll get it in a few years.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're still on the climb. So they're just our little baby sad cats. The Cowboys had a good one. The Tyler Intelligence Committee. It was kind of a weird concept, but A+ because they trolled Malik Neighbors' division rival for crapping on the Giants pick in the live stream that he was a part of. So I like this idea of trolling your competition. Let's get to the football side of things. Still to come, our breakdown of the best games, the best schedules, and our way too early plant the flag bets for week 1. But first, what's up, DraftKings?
The conference semifinals of the NBA playoffs are underway, and our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook are getting you closer to the action every game day, the entire playoffs. Right now, all new Sportsbook customers who bet just $5 get $100 in bonus bets instantly when you sign up using code FAVORITES. Plus, all customers get a profit boost every day of the NBA playoffs. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. Don't wait to take your shot. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and new customers can use code FAVORITES to turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers get a profit boost every day of the NBA playoffs. Profit boost and max bet vary. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
All right, let's start with the games that we are looking forward to the most. For me, it's like everything in week 1 because it's fresh and I can't wait for football season to start. Primetime games, I look in that direction. Revenge games, holiday games. That's what I'm looking for personally. Gilles, you are our special guest today. What game stands out to you on the NFC side? We'll get it going.
Well, there's a couple, but I mean, obviously, a little bit of bias on my front. As a Cowboys fan, I do want to see the Eagles and Cowboys play in Week 7. I feel like that game, even though they do play in Thanksgiving, that game I think is going to be a good measuring stick to kind of see where these teams are, especially the Cowboys with how much they've invested in their defense. But if they can't beat Philly in Philly, like it's kind of a pretty telltale sign that maybe they're not legit contenders, especially with the way that their schedule unfolded, where I know that we could look at grades and say, oh, it's bottom 5. From my POV, that looks like the hardest schedule in the NFL.
Evan, what stands out to you as far as the games that you want to see the most?
I mean, it's hard for me to look forward past week 1 in terms of stuff I actually really want to see, unless you're talking about like Bills, Chiefs, obviously AFC, but like that's, to me, you start circling some of those. I tend to just focus on week 1. I kind of wish week 1 was a little bit different. Like I don't know. Everyone has a different opinion here. Like I don't necessarily know if I love seeing the division games in week 1. Like maybe it's a time, and I think I heard this on social, to do like an AFC versus NFC challenge or something different where the matchups are kind of unique. But that's not what's on the table right now. We have our game. So my favorite's probably Packers Vikings, maybe. I think there's a lot of intrigue in that game. You put Green Bay on the road. Obviously, I think the better team, the more stand-up team at the moment. Still don't know who Minnesota's quarterback is, but that to me, interesting enough for week 1, where I've kind of looked at that a few times. That has me kind of thinking about a few things.
I wanted to ask you. Oh, I wanted to ask Evan about the week 1 because the 4 p.m. slate right now, and this has been something with the NFL that I've noticed just over the years, that the 4 p.m. slate just sometimes in week 1, it is so like you get one marquee matchup and then the other 3 are just duds. And right now, looking at that 4 p.m. slate for week 1, Packers Vikings is awesome, but Dolphins Raiders, like Cardinals Chargers, like obviously I'm NFL deprived, I'm gonna watch it, but week 1, those 2 matchups specifically right at the 5 p or 4 p.m. slate, I feel like it's kind of a letdown compared to what we might see for, Sunday Night Football with Cowboys and Giants, or even Monday Night Football with Broncos and Chiefs.
I think the league hopes Mendoza starts, which is probably not going to happen, to give the hype on that game a little bit. I mean, you have Malik Willis in his first start. Like, yeah, there's not much intrigue for that one. Cardinals Chargers could get interesting. It'll be the highest spread on the board. It's going to be like 11, which is a fun storyline. So we'll see what happens. But Arizona's terrible.
It does seem like
fans going to make it to Los Angeles, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
It seems like the NFL, because over the years, it's such a common complaint for us in that 4 o'clock window, especially if you're watching Red Zone and Scott Hansen's just, putting God's work in at that point in the day, that the NFL really wants to push the whatever the big Fox or CBS game is. And so they kind of, it's almost like a basketball player going ISO. Like they just want to clear out the paint and just give you that one big marquee matchup that everybody focuses on. The 4 o'clock window is a pseudo prime time window in the NFL. And I think that's why they clear it out, because it just otherwise doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't slide some of those 1 o'clock games up so that we have a more well-bodied, balanced schedule. One of the things that stands out to me, obviously, guys, heavy in the camp of the Falcons. Ravens, Falcons, Sunday Night Football, Week 5, Battle of the Birds. 2 weeks later, you have Mahomes and the Chiefs, perennial championship contenders. Can they get off the mat against the current Super Bowl champions? And it's Kenneth Walker going up against his former team, Chiefs Seahawks, week 7. That's interesting. But if we're going all NFC, because some NFC or AFC teams sprinkled in there, Monday Night Football week 2 stands out to me. Kendra, I know you're going to be all over this one. The Giants feel like the buzz team going into the year. The Rams are the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl. That game's got a lot of juice. Week 2, prime time, Giants-Rams is the one that I am circling.
Can I say that you guys really buried the lead here? Because the Thanksgiving slate is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving, you guys buried the lead so hard here. The Thanksgiving Day slate, I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry, whoever else is going to be at the party. I'm going to be on the couch hammered. See ya.
Well, Kendra,
Okay.
the 1:00 game too. Like, how often have we showed up and been ready for the 1:00 game, and it's just awful, awful quarterback play. At least this time, we're going to be able to see Jared Goff and Caleb Williams go head to head.
Everybody's going to be on the couch. Mom and dad will be fighting because nobody's doing the dishes. This is going to be a holiday that everyone's going to talk about in 20 years because the girls were pissed off that people were on the couch, okay?
To be fair, I think this year feels like the storyline is also the NFL kind of went in way hard in the sense that a lot of teams don't have primetime games. Some teams have a ton of primetime games. They just don't care. And the holiday schedule, if you look down the entire list, is ridiculous. Like every game is absurd. They
New
just
Year's
didn't care
games.
this year. Yeah, they just didn't care.
Do you guys, I was going to ask you that question. Do you guys love or hate the idea of games every single night of the week, kind of once we get past October? Because I love it from the immediate gratification standpoint of, okay, I know what I'm doing every single night when it's cold outside. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to make plans. Like my plans are made for me. But I don't love it from the long-term aspect of players can't get in routines. If your team is good, it's almost like a curse. I was listening to Damian Woody kind of talk about the schedule this morning, and he was like, as a player, the Jets have a perfect schedule because they play at 1 p.m. every single Sunday. Players want to get in their routine. That's what they like. I like it from the immediate sweet, there's football on all the time right now. But eventually, we're going to start seeing the same things that we saw last season with quarterbacks who just are decimated by the time we get to week 8.
I think what the schedule for these teams looks like the week after or the week before matters a lot. And I haven't done a lot of digging on that, but in general, as a fan, I don't mind it. I think if you talk about the actual logistics of football, it's so different. I love a good day baseball game or a back-to-back in the NBA. You can do that in those sports. It's hard to overschedule in the NFL because of how
Contact
physical
sports.
the sport is. And do I need you mentioned the Thanksgiving slate. We might not even have the fucking turkey. Did you see Thanksgiving Eve is Packers Rams? I mean, might not even be making the side dishes the night before.
Gonna be Thanksgiving brunch this year.
It's a little gratuitous.
You need to be out of my house by 1 o'clock.
I'm not going to complain about it because what are we going to be doing when the Rams play the Packers on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving? We're going to watch
Making your third plate. Duh.
No, this is the night before. The night before.
10th Rams
Oh,
primetime
yeah, it's
game.
the night before.
in
The
10 weeks.
Wednesday, yeah, the Wednesday game. Ugh. I don't know if I love that. I gotta be honest. Like this, like together everything is good, but like somebody called into our radio station yesterday and said that the NFL is getting so greedy that it's getting to a point where it's going to rip families apart because back in the day, it was Sunday. If you were, a good husband and a good father every other day of the week, your wife would let you have Sundays for football. And because of the NFL's greed, it's like, babe, well, the game's on tonight and the game's on tomorrow and the game's on Thursday. Like, what point is enough?
Yeah, thank you. That very well said. That was a nice PSA for families across America. I don't know what I would do if I didn't work in sports because I can always couch it by saying, "Come on, this is what we do." But it's a tough spot for the families.
Great time to be single and childless, baby. Let me tell you.
Exactly. All right, now the team that you are looking at after the schedule release, and we already knew the strength of schedule, so maybe bets were already placed. Maybe you already had inklings, but I like to take a look at how the schedule is going to flow before I make any bold wagers. Team that you feel like you're going to smash an over on after the release. I've got one that I love, but we'll get started with Evan. What are you looking at?
So I think this is a little bit of a tough couch. The Lions are the team that you kind of want to bet based off of their schedule. Easiest win total, strength of schedule. They face an average team of about 90-1 Super Bowl odds every single week throughout the entire season, which is a massive, massive number. Now, I didn't like Detroit as a team. You look at the roster, the whole deal. They finished last year, so obviously helps their schedule this year. So it's hard to go. You go a little bit both directions here because I don't know if I love the whole framing of the team, some of the moves they made in the offseason, but their schedule is really, really easy, especially compared to last year. They're a full win difference in terms of their average opponent win total last year to this year. It's only I think it's the fifth time that's happened since 2002, where a team has taken a win total and it's moved an entire full win over a season, which is crazy. And 4 of those 5 before went over their win total, which is a decent call for Detroit. So it's hard not to go the Lions direction.
Well, I'll piggyback off of that because that was the team that I love as well. 60, the easiest schedule in the NFL. No, it's all good. I mean,
all 3 of us.
One that stood out, and we got another one. Oh God!
I literally put in our notes the Lions to win the North.
The Lions are cooked. They opened the year with the Saints, the Jets, the Panthers, the Cardinals in 4 of the first 5 weeks of the season. They have the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Vikings 2 times. They're going to be on the doorstep of 11 wins very quickly. I know 10.5 is high, but it's that high for a reason. Evan detailed it well in his recap. I like the Lions over 10.5 wins.
Okay, see, I thought about this too, but I feel like I like the value of them winning the North better because that division's just going to beat up on each other. I almost think that that's where the value is to take it that way.
They could go over 10.5 and not win the division, though. That is a very possible.
But they could also not win 10.5 games and win the division.
I just feel like the division's going to be so good like it was last year that I don't know.
You might be right. You got to get 10 to win the division. I don't mind. Probably. What's the number on? You probably get plus money on them to win the division. Are they?
Yeah, plus 185.
Yeah, I mean that's
period. I know.
Yeah, I mean the 10.5 is juice too, so you're having to pay up for it. I think if you want the nicer payout, I think the division odds. The problem is that now you have to worry where you're betting into the Lions. You're just worried about what the Lions are doing. When you're betting into the division, you're worried about what the Packers are doing. And
yeah, but I can talk you into that right now. Are you a Jordan Love truther?
I think he's good. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm like pounding the table for Jordan Love, but I would be more on the Jordan Love camp than against
the Vikings are a no. And then the other option is the Bears, who have the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah. But the Bears are also really good.
They are, but how many?
Oh, go.
I was going to say my whole point was literally I'm going to take the Bears under because truly are they also 10.5? How many wins can he pull out from his ass the way that he did last year? That will not happen again, especially with a schedule that's an absolute gauntlet like this.
All right, Gilles, what are you looking at? What's the over you're smashing?
I'm going the other way. The Vikings to make the playoffs is awesome value right now at plus 170. I love the roster on the offensive side of the ball. We think of how bad the Vikings were last year because JJ McCarthy was just an absolute zero at quarterback. Kyler Murray should be an instant upgrade. And when you look at their skill position group, I'll put it up against the Lions. It might be the best in the NFL with Jefferson, Addison. They added Juwan Jennings. Their running back system is their offensive line is improving, but one thing that I like as well is that they really only have to play two true outdoor games. Like pretty much they have to play the Patriots in week 14 and then the Jets
weather
in week
handicappers.
16. Well, and the thing is for me, those 2 teams, I don't think the Patriots are going to be where they need to be by week 14. Jets, I have no faith in. So both of those teams could be disasters by week 14. And low key, like if you look at the second half of the season, like they finished on a 5-game win streak. Like they beat the Lions both times last year with JJ McCarthy and the Cowboys, who were both in line to get wildcard spots had they not lost those games. So for me in that division, the Vikings are the ones to me who are showing the most value at to make the playoffs. You can get that around plus 170 at DraftKings.
You know, I will say this, I think that this case for Minnesota, which I'm with you, I think Minnesota could be that surprise team this year. Kyler Murray finally with a good quarterback whisperer type of coach and the weapons that he's got.
Allegedly, look at JJ.
Well,
We'll see.
JJ was a disaster, but I think Kyler Murray's a really good quarterback when he's on the field. It's a health issue, and Kevin O'Connell has enough of a resume.
And it's a capacity issue.
I mean,
when
he
you
brought
can't get
Sam
off the
Darnold
game,
back to life. Come on, we got to give the guy some credit. But I think that, to your point, if you love the Lions and you think the Vikings are sneaky, not everyone in this division is getting to 10 wins. And this points in the direction of a Bears under, especially when you look at how difficult their schedule is. Toughest schedule in the NFL from a opponent win percentage perspective at 55%. Let's go the other direction. Let's smash an under. For me, it's the 49ers. This team overachieved last season, especially when you consider the injuries that they dealt with. Their schedule from a difficulty perspective is middle of the road, but they still play in the NFC West. It's another division that's just a gauntlet. So that's tough on its own. And they could be coasting to an over and then not win a game until week 18. They have a stretch of Seahawks, Giants, who we expect to be decent, Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles. Under 10.5 wins is a best bet type for me on the San Francisco 49ers. Kendra, what are you looking at?
I'm gonna smash the under on the Rams. I want to love them, but I think that their schedule's too tough. I think that Matt Stafford is old and injury prone and has been dealing with a back for a very long time, and they wasted a pick in Ty Simpson. And when they could have had, someone to help make that team better, Devontae Adams is getting old. Puka Nacua is distracted and kind of an a-hole. So, I just too many problems on this offense, and I don't think that even this defense can bail them out against a schedule that is just their division is insane.
And the start to their schedule is tough.
I just don't know if Matt Stafford can play an entire season. Last year was your year, and last year was it. I'm sorry. It was.
I mean, he's an aging quarterback that's had back issues. So taking it under, I don't think anybody should stand too far opposed to that. The start of their schedule, this is where I like to look. If I'm going to bet an under, I want it to be ugly quickly, preferably. Or either ugly quick or ugly late, where you're just going to hit a wall like with San Francisco. But they play the Rams, the Giants, at Denver, at Philadelphia, and then home against the Buffalo Bills. They could be looking at a record that surprises a lot of people very early on into the season. Gilles, what are you looking at? We're slamming unders here in the NFC.
I'm with Kendra on the Rams. That was the thing. It's like 4 of those 5 games in prime time, and then the Eagles in week 4. Like, it's such a brutal opening month, and then they got their bye, and it's just a gauntlet the entire way. Also, Kendra, I don't know how much of the broadcast you watched last night, but McVay was on the schedule release show, and they asked him about Ty Simpson. He completely just deferred. He's like, well, all the rookies are getting prepped. He didn't actually say his name. I just want to know if that has to be what it's my conclusion, but it was just like, wow, you can't even just mention you won't even say Ty Simpson's name as Peter Schrager says it back to you.
He's like Voldemort. Literally can't even say his name.
Cannot be named.
Evan, what about you?
I just don't know. So every year there's a team with a really low win total that wins even fewer games than their win total. I feel like that's always the fun one that everyone forgets. They end up with 2 or 3 wins. You end up cashing your ticket. No one realizes it. I just feel like that has to be Arizona. I just don't know how, with their division, with the fact that the teams that they face throughout the entire season, like some of the numbers are just
free Buda Baker.
Incredible. It's incredible. Their average win total they face is 9.3. It's the highest in history, like ever. Now, obviously, we've moved to a higher schedule within the last 5 years, but the number is still the highest within that distance. I mean, again, week 1, they're like an 11-point dog to the Chargers, which is going to be very similar to what the lines are going to kind of look like all season. Also, on top of all those things, 4th worst net rest. So not only is the schedule ridiculous, but the schedule also did them no luck. So there's like all these things is just ridiculous. They also, think about this one. This one's crazy. They face 7 different opponents with a double-digit win total across 10 separate matchups. They face an average team of 47-1 in Super Bowl futures. If you want a comparison, the Bengals face a 93-1 on average. So, I mean, it's just incredible how many teams and how many bad games Arizona has. So I just feel like they're going to start bad, and it's going to be a easier ticket than most.
for how bad they're supposed to be. Worst roster in the NFL, perhaps. Them and Miami are duking it out for that. Both have win totals of
I
four
hope
and
you're
a
having a
half.
great time, Kravitz.
Oh, it's so. I mean, honestly, I prefer this as
Where are
somebody who
you
has
at
done.
on the Dolphins' schedule? We'll get that to that in the AFC episode. We'll
I
get
was
there.
gonna
We'll
say.
get there.
Let's not jump ahead, Kendra. Now, that breakdown will be fast. The fact that you have the Dolphins and the Cardinals have something in common. They're both going to be terrible this year, and they're both in the bottom three in terms of schedule difficulty. Last year, I went back and looked at the 7 toughest schedules based on the opponent win percentage from the year prior. The 7 toughest schedules going into the season. So if you're making preseason bets, those teams went 5-2 to the under on their win totals. So if you're just looking for how can I place a winning wager before the season starts, look at the toughest schedules and I arbitrarily picked 7 just because that was just my cutoff line. But pick the toughest schedules in the NFL and hammer the under. Historically, Evan, does that sort of trend hold up? And if you are looking at betting unders, are you trying to bet unders, like you said, with bad teams that could be even worse than expected, or for teams that maybe overachieved the year prior that also have a tough schedule like Chicago?
Yeah, opponent win percentage from the year prior has just been outweighed. Like people have done studies, I've looked at it, like it just doesn't matter. The other stuff that tends to matter when you try to project going forward is like the win total things, the futures, like those more projection prices than previous looking back prices tend to do better when looking forward. The thing that I thought is interesting, and you can see it, I have an article up on the site right now that has way too much information in it, but one of the pieces of information is the like trigger games, which is like negative and positive triggers. Like if you have a bad rest situation or a bad time zone change, or like you have to play in altitude in Denver, or there's certain spots that tend to weigh more than others. I think that is what impacts his schedule, especially when you're weighed like first 8 weeks, second 8 weeks, things of that nature. That's what I tend to look at more.
The Cardinals are going to be 10 times better than the Dolphins. That's all I have to say. I really
10
think
times. They're going to be 10 times better
10
than
times
anything.
a lot, though.
I think the Cardinals are a lot better than the Dolphins, and I do think that their schedule sucks and their quarterback is a huge question mark, but their roster really isn't that bad.
The only pushback I would say about the Cardinals, and this is something that we would do all for the second half of the year, especially with Jacoby Brissett, is you bet the over in the game at halftime. They will get down by like 21 points, and they will storm back. Trey McBride will get spammed with targets. I'm telling you, it worked like probably like 4 of the final 5 games.
I think it's going to be Carson Beck's team. I'm not even kidding you guys.
Means
another reason to take the over.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
he's gonna be a pick 6 specialist.
What's the depth chart here? Jacoby, Gardner Minshew is right now back up.
Carson Beck, Caden
Slovis, 4th string. All right. I don't even know if
oh man, the preseason is going to be lit in Arizona.
It's going to be so good.
All right, before we get to, we're going to plant the flag for an NFC bet in a moment. I saw in the notes that Kendra's all excited about the New Orleans Saints, and they are.
I was.
Okay, so I was looking at their schedule. I think the Saints are an interesting topic here because they could be a darling to win a really bad or at least a very unpredictable division in the NFC South. They start the year at Detroit and at Baltimore. I'd be hard pressed to find a tougher start to the schedule than that on the road against 2 playoff teams that have win totals around 10.5 or 11.5. So I think the Saints, it's not far-fetched to believe that they're going to start the season 0-2. And if you want to bet anything Saints, you wait until after the second week of the season. Are you with me on that?
Great point. I put them in our notes because, as we know, my darlings last year were the Rams and the P words, my Carolina Panthers. At this point in the season, this was around when I got in on the Panthers. I went in and looked at it last night from my bet slips. I got them to win the division plus 425. And sure, they were probably what I would consider a similar situation to the Saints this year because the Panthers won the division. I don't think that they're going to get that much better, but I don't think that they're going to be that much worse. It's Tampa Bay's to lose. And the Falcons, also a huge question mark. Like on paper, I think that the Saints are probably the 4th best team in this division right now, but people have expectations for what they saw Tyler Shuck do last year. The fact that I got the Panthers at 425 at this point last year, and this is 265 for them to win the division, absolutely not.
Kind of like if you just want to bet money line in one of the first 2 games, because if they start 1-1, It's going to be out. That's going to be one of the most impressive 1-1 records in the
People
NFL.
also love them. I swear to God, every show, every like thing that I consumed in the last 24 hours. I don't know, Jill, how you feel or what you consumed because I saw you that, or I like you've said that you watched everything last night, but it feels like everybody loves them, and it's just I can't at this price get in on it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
and
with you.
the difference between 1 and 4 in that division is very marginal. And again, we don't forget, like the Bucks were pretty much, it was like you said, they were pretty much set to win that division, and then the Panthers kind of just snuck in there right there at the end. Yeah, I'm not expecting the Panthers to just improve, and in fact, I'm thinking the Bucks are probably going to regress just because even though Mike Evans obviously is in his 30s, it's just the type of weapon that he provided on offense for Baker Mayfield. And you saw it when he was out in games last year of how their offense just had difficulty making big plays and explosive plays. I know that Emeka Ibuka is really good and he'll probably improve as well, but that's such a huge loss for them on offense that I just think that the Bucks are going to regress. The Panthers are going to kind of stay where they are. I'm not a Tua believer at all. Yeah, it's pretty much Panthers are
And
nothing or Saints are nothing.
Baker's
Like, where are
kind
we
of
at here?
washed. Baker's kind of washed.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
gonna
I
be
didn't
the
go that
first
far.
one to say it. You can clip this if you want to. I think Baker's washed. And on top of that, it didn't just go to the final week of the year because the Panthers were crawling back into it. If like there were two things that very realistically could have happened, the Atlanta Falcons could have won that division. So it's not enough value. No way, no how. I can't get there.
Yeah, we could steer clear of that for now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the plus 450 on the Falcons. Okay, moving on. Let's get to our DraftKings segment this week. Our way too early pick in the NFC. So we can go in any direction that we want for our plant the flag in the NFC presented by DraftKings. If you want to go season long, if you want to go week one, I have a feeling Evan and I, because we're just so focused, the microscope is on week one in the NFL season, that we're going to look in that direction. I know I am. Let's start with our guests. Gilles Gallant, what are we looking at? Plant the flag in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings to make the playoffs. They finished 8-9 with arguably the worst quarterback situation in the NFL last year, and they've gotten better. Their skill position group is better. I would put that up against any team in the NFL. I think the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC will get a wild card spot.
I love it. I think they're going to be mighty feisty and a lot of fun this year. Evan, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I'm going to do the week one thing. I like the Lions and the Saints to go over 48. I did it at minus 120. It's sitting about 48 and a half right now. I will say this, and I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but there is a book out there that has a 51, and I did take the under for like a tenth of a unit because I wanted a middle 6 months before we're going to even play games or whatever the heck it is.
We're in May and he's already arving.
I did a
small
guy because I just couldn't help it, but I like over 48.
All right, Kendra, what are we looking at?
Okay, so I'm going right back into the fire, and I'm going to say that the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat the absolute crap out of the Patriots week one. I would say, though, wait for the AJ Brown signing because I think he is worth at least a point. It's currently 3.5. When that goes down, you smash Seattle. I think the Patriots are like 5-5 in week one over the last 10 years. Not a good week one performer. They lost to the Raiders week one of last season, if anyone remembers. They have way too much crap going on, so many distractions. I expect them to probably we'll get to the Patriots, but I'm gonna go Seattle week one. Wait for the AJ Brown thing. I think that this is gonna be bad.
I am having visions of Evans week one primer, Super Bowl winner at home to open the season. Smash.
No, me having flashbacks to being at Hooters in Saugus, Massachusetts for the Super Bowl and it being so quiet in the third quarter that I could hear them washing the dishes in the back, baby. I might run it back at Hooters.
Oh, that was not a ringing endorsement for the vibe at Hooters.
It was, I personally, as a certified hater, I loved it.
Evan, that is you don't have to pull the exact numbers, but that is a trend, isn't it? You get the
it's more I mean it kind of runs together. It's a Super Bowl loser, which now is the same matchup for like the second time in history. So also Seattle at home early season, they're like 37-8 or something like that.
Damn.
It's tough.
I might have to. I think I'm with Kendra. I might bet that now. Screw the AJ Brown news. I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the Giants plus 2.5. Week 1 divisional home underdogs hit at an insane rate. It's like 78% since 2009. They're the sleeper team going into the year. So why not start with a bang? Plus 2.5 on the Giants against the overrated Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, Gilles. We
Settle
love you.
down.
Settle down.
That right there is our plant the flag for the NFC presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Special thanks to our producer, Gifford Gould, Stats Hound, Evan Abrams, our guest, Gilles Gallant, and the great Kendra Middleton. AFC episode coming up. You can catch it right here on the Action Network YouTube page. We'll see you in a moment. The favorites presented by DraftKings, where the crown is yours.